You're listening to The Road Unknown. Our host, Bill McKee, weaves together music from different decades, genres, and subjects to bring you the music you like to hear. Sometimes mixing a program around themes like love, war, social conscience, and the welfare of children. Other times he dips his toes into the history of music, Motown, blues, or other turns down the road unknown. His focus always is to play good music listeners will enjoy and want to hear more of. Here's your host, Bill McKee.
Before we get to tonight's program, all you Eric Gales fans out there, Eric, LaDonna, and the band are in Texas tonight at Billy Bob's. I know he's going to be rocking the roof off that place. Welcome to a very special edition of The Road Unknown. I am joined in studio by a special guest, Matt Elvis Dollar. Welcome, Matt.
Thank you for having me here.
Oh, I am glad we're finally doing this. I know we talked about it, back during Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
So, Matt, tell us, for the listeners who do not know, tell us how you got started in entertainment. I know it goes back to your early childhood.
I have been entertaining ever since I've been old enough to walk. I remember back in grade school, I carried kindergarten, I carried a ventriloquist doll and a guitar to school on a daily basis and got beat up daily for it. But I never, ever stopped, and we're talking today.
Very good. And, of course, you got an early start as an Elvis impersonator.
Oh, yeah.
Because tell us about your mother and your names. And
my mother, my Uncle Larry, everybody in my family, which back in the day, everyone was Elvis fans. I mean, even if you didn't love Elvis's music, you respected Elvis.
Yeah.
There was not many houses around at the time that did not have a picture of Jesus, JFK, and Elvis Presley in the house somewhere. And that's just how it was.
Yeah, by golly, you're absolutely correct. I hadn't even thought about that, Matt, but you're absolutely correct.
It's the truth. So, since day one, I've had this crazy name, Matt Elvis Dollar, which sounds like a circus. And I think I was just destined. Everybody who has a calling, like a pastor has a calling.
Yeah.
You had a calling
right.
to do your Christmas job.
Right.
I have been Elvis and handing out scarves and singing to little ladies since I was 5 years old, so, which to me is truly amazing. But we're going to talk more about it during the show. But Elvis, Matt is not limited to Elvis. He is so diverse in all of the things he's involved in as an artist, as a performer, as I'm not sure what I would call you with building the Batmobiles, Matt. A mad scientist.
Well, you're certainly very creative because they are incredible. I mean, they are motion picture TV quality.
I've built 12 so far.
By golly.
And if anybody would like to look while we're talking, I've got a website, which is mattelvisdollar.com. And everything on that website is all of the things that I do.
Which is, I can't even keep up with. It seems like every time I talk with Matt, and we've been friends for a few years now.
Oh, yeah, several
we,
years.
I don't remember when we first met, but I know certainly... I
was doing a fundraiser one time for...
in Bristol.
And it was for the... in Memphis, the Children's Hospital. St. Jude's.
I remember that. That goes back a number of years.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, many years.
Well, Matt, I know, of course, you've been into music since you were a child, and you've got a few things for us to listen to today. You want to tell us about the first one?
Well, the first thing was a lot of people knows that Elvis Presley was signed on the Sun record label in 1954 and 55. Shelby Singleton took over Sun Records in the 70s, bought it from Sam Phillips.
Mm-hmm.
And he went on to record several other people. He was the guy who came out with Janie C. Riley, the Harper Valley PTA.
I remember
that was what it was released on. He had Johnny Cash. He did all of Jerry Lee Lewis's releases. He, a lot of people. Even one special guy named Jimmy Ellis, which we will get to in a little bit later. But I got signed there and was signed for 5 years, and I released one CD of an array of songs called Hooked on Music, and this is the title song.
All right. Matt Elvis Dollar with Hooked on Music.
Well, it was New Year's Eve. I was 14 at the time. Well, I was celebrating hooray with them hoodlum friends of mine. I heard a boy named Elvis Presley singing, "That's Alright, Mom," on the radio, and it turned me home. And I've been hooked on music from that moment on. Well, I've still been fancy hook hats off in cowboys' pickup trucks, fender skirts and mud flaps, anything to make a buck. Well, I'd sell them right back to them out behind the rodeo, just to make a little money to take a little honey to a rock and roll show. Well, I hung around that skating ring where a Buddy Holly played. Well, I could not believe one man could have such fun and still get paid. When I heard that lonely DJ playing, that'll be the day it turned me on. It turned me on. I've been hooked on music from that moment on. Well, take it on, Joe. Finally got some tickets to see Elvis Alive and Hot. My girlfriend almost jumped my bones going back to the parking lot. Well, I knew that it was not my dream to see good looks and charm, but it was his songs that got that girl in the back of my car. So I bought myself a guitar and I wrote me a little song. Well, I changed the name to that latest flame, and that song never came out wrong. Well, I'd sit back, sing it soft and low, sing it soft and low, it turned them on. Yeah, I turned them on. And I've been hooked on music from that moment on. Well, dee, 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 I'm hooked on music, I'm hooked on music. Well, I've been hooked on music from that moment on. Well, I've been hooked on music from that moment on.
Matt, that is a phenomenal recording.
I appreciate that very much. I did that at Sun Records. It's got a really good friend of mine, George Good, who has passed away. He's playing guitar on it. Lot of good guys. Mike Archer playing the steel guitar, Tony Hilton playing the piano. Just an array of great artists. The rest of the guys were studio musicians there in Nashville at Sun.
Yeah.
I've got to tell you a little bit here about Johnny Cash. I've met a lot of people, but I accidentally bumped into Johnny Cash 9 times.
By golly, that's pretty amazing.
And he was always at restaurants or pawn shops or places you wouldn't think you would bump into Johnny Cash.
Yeah.
I bumped into him at the Sizzler Steakhouse 3 times.
By golly.
So, anyway, right before the Walk the Line movie came out.
Yeah, I remember it. I really enjoyed that movie.
Right before that movie came out, Johnny was still living.
Mm-hmm.
And I was working at Sun Records, and one day, and this is Sun Records of Nashville for Shelby Singleton. I was in the studio, and we were talking about Johnny Cash and Orion and Elvis and everybody, you know. And man, a line to a song came to me. And I wrote it down real quick, and I went home, or went to my hotel that night, and I worked and worked, and I was up and down all night rattling papers, and writing. And the next day, I went to Sun Records, and I cut this song, and it's called Cash. And shortly after, either the second to the third last time Johnny was at Carter Folds, I got to go to Carter Folds with my band, and we played this song.
By golly. And the photo I found on your website, I think Facebook page, named Cash, I absolutely loved that photo. And, of course, I had to add it to the ones I published.
I've got a little bit older since then.
Yeah, just a little. Well, we all have, for sure. And this one, you want to hear? Cash. All right. Matt Elvis Dollar with Cash.
Well, I must have been just a little kid when I first heard him sing. He was talking about a boy named Sue and riding that long black train. And my daddy said that he loved that man even though that he wore black. But everyone who knew this man just simply called him Cash. I taught the weeping willow how to cry, and showed the clouds how to cover up a clear blue sky. And the tears I cried for that woman are gonna flood you, big river. Then I'm gonna sit right down here until I die. I learned how to walk the line and always watch my back, how to stay away from Folsom Prison, drugs and things like that. And if you ever find a woman like June, you better love her and not look back. Cause life here is a ring of fire, even for the man in black. Well, I hear the train a-comin', well, it's rollin' round the bend. I ain't seen the sunshine since I don't know when. And I'm stuck in Folsom Prison, and time keeps dragging on. When I hear that whistle blow on down from San Antone, take it on. Not to cry, but those tears, they came back. He even went down to old San Quentin and made the prisoners black. And he even went and built a car stealing parts from Cadillac. And the Lord might have came and saved his soul, but this man, he still wore black. Will the circle be unbroken by and by, Lord, by and by? There's a better home awaiting in the sky, Lord, in the sky. One more time. Will the circle be unbroken by and by, Lord, by and by? There's a better home awaiting for Johnny in the sky.
Matt, tell us again about recording that song and what you were just telling me while it was playing.
It brings back a lot of memories recording that song, or listening to it, because the day before this, we were in a studio, and I had bumped into Johnny Cash at a pawn shop over in Gate City. And I'm standing there talking to the pawn shop owner. I didn't even have the money to be in that pawn shop. And this older guy walked in the door, and I told the pawn shop owner, I said, man, that guy looks like Johnny Cash. And he said, it is Johnny Cash, and don't bother him. I immediately grabbed a guitar and ran to Johnny Cash. And I said, will you please, Mr. Cash, show me the kickoff on Folsom Prison Blues? He sat down there and showed me how to do it, and I went through it about, 30 dozen times or whatever till I got it, and he patted me on the back, and he went on his way. So the point is, the day we was recording that song, every musician has kind of got their own way of doing the kickoff on Folsom Prison Blues. The chord that Johnny Cash did in is not even a chord. It's something he made up.
Right.
So, and it sounds horrible if you strum it, but if you pick it, it's the opening of Folsom Prison. So I was trying to lay down that opening track, and every musician in studio that day was arguing with me on how to do it. So finally, the guy in the sound booth, he said, "Why are you so adamant on doing it that way? Who showed you that nonsense?" And I said, "Johnny Cash." So
I would assume that pretty well stopped the...
oh, yeah, that was it. They did it the way I wanted to do it, and it's on the record.
And it sounds great.
I appreciate it. It's been several years ago, and actually that was my first record on Sun, was Cash.
Well, they did a absolute marvelous job recording it.
Yeah, Shelby Singleton was he was like the Carney of the record business.
By golly.
I'm going to kind of leave it right there, but one of the great things that he did do was shortly after Elvis Presley's death, nobody wanted to let go of Elvis.
Right, I understand that.
Every business wanted to make money off of Elvis Presley. Everybody wanted to capitalize.
Right.
So the first thing that Shelby Singleton did was come out with a record, which they no longer owned Elvis at Sun, but he came out with an album called The Sun Years. And it was interviews and memories of Elvis, radio spots, and stuff like that. Just a way for them to make some money.
Right.
Well, the bad thing was, about 2 weeks after it got released in record stores nationwide, RCA Records put a lawsuit against Shelby for $400,000.
Ooh.
Which, in 1977, that was a whole lot of money.
Yeah, that would have been a ton of money back
it'd be
then.
like $4 million now.
Yeah.
So, convinced and determined to make some money off of the name of Elvis, he didn't want to give up. So there was a singer around the Nashville area by the name of Jimmy Ellis.
Yeah, whom, before you mentioned him to me last week, I had never heard of.
But what you have heard of is the tabloid papers back in the day is Elvis Alive.
Yes.
Spotted Elvis here, spotted Elvis there. The reason that whole thing happened was because of Shelby Singleton, Gail Brewer Giorgio, and Jimmy Ellis. Gail Brewer Giorgio had wrote a book, a fictional book, another person trying to capitalize off of Elvis,
Right.
called Orion. And it was about a mythological, fictional guy who was the biggest entertainer in the world, faked his death, and went into hiding. Jimmy Ellis sounds like Elvis, okay?
Yes, after listening to the music you sent me,
Remarkably a lot like Elvis.
Yeah.
All right, and I've been through the same thing.
Right.
It's either a gift or a curse.
Right.
If I go out to play country music, which I love to do, I can get through about 5 songs, and then the audience is wanting to hear Suspicious Minds or whatever, and I'm stuck singing Elvis in a pair of blue jeans for 2 hours.
Right, right.
Same thing with Jimmy. Jimmy wanted to be his own singer. The problem was, I'm trying to sing like Elvis. He wasn't.
Right.
He naturally sounded like Elvis. And the problem was, record labels were saying, we've already got Elvis. We're not interested. He didn't want to be an Elvis impersonator like me.
Right.
He wanted to be Jimmy Ellis.
Yeah, he didn't want to be Elvis. He wanted to be himself.
Well, the problem with that was he sounded so much like Elvis.
Yeah.
And so he didn't know what to do. So he reads this book, Orion. He walks into the office of Sun Records to Shelby Singleton. He lays it on the desk, and he said, "We now have a gimmick." So Shelby Singleton slapped a mask on him to where you couldn't tell if it was Elvis or Jimmy Ellis.
Right.
Dyed his hair black, and put out a record with no name. Rumors started going. Is Elvis alive? Is he back at Sun Records where he started? Before we go any further and continue this, I want to play a little song here, and it's called Stranger in My Place.
All right, let me get that one queued up. Are you ready for it?
Oh, yeah, and I want everybody to listen. This is not Elvis. This is the great Jimmy Ellis.
I see the town we were born. I see the place that we were raised. And I see all the things you wanted, darling. Oh, that I never gave. I see sadness. I see sorrow. Lord, I see pain upon your face, but I just can't see a stranger in my place. I can see now how we quarreled. Lord, I could see that I was wrong. I can see where you might weaken when I wasn't strong. I see memories of a love gone bad. You know the time can't erase. I just can't see a stranger in my place. So no, I can't. No one seems to know you quite like I do. No one knows all the things that make you cry. Looking back, you know it seems I never showed you. Now I lay alone, I wonder why. I can see now where you might be tired of all those dreams that don't come true. And I can see where I've fallen short of all the things I promised you. I can see now through these tear-filled eyes, just ain't no love upon your face. No, I just can't see a stranger in my place.
Well, I know this, Matt. When I first listened to the first song by Jimmy Ellis after you sent them to me, I almost could not believe that it wasn't Elvis.
Oh, I know, it's amazing. And this is what caused, like I said, is Elvis Alive. It gave people hope.
Yeah, I could see why, because hearing that voice, how could he not be?
So I've befriended a guy by the name of Steve Kelly, and he was a friend of Elvis. Met Elvis when he was 10 years old. Stayed friends with Elvis till Elvis died. A lot of friends of Elvis's bodyguards. And he was also the road manager for Orion. So, very cool guy, full of stories, full of information. And because of him, I now own the website JimmyEllisOrion.com because no one was managing it, so I paid for it and took it over. And then I also own a lot of Jimmy's stage wear, personal items, a lot of his personal items.
Yeah.
Jackets, coats, tour jackets, his belt. I've got his sunglasses. I got tons of things that belong to Jimmy Ellis that I treasure. And I'm just trying to keep Jimmy alive, because 1979, my brother worked at this store up in Bristol, and there was a little lady who worked in there named Margaret.
Uh-huh.
And Jimmy Ellis had performed at a place in Bristol called the Hitchin' Post.
Oh, I remember that.
Well, the Hitchin' Post back in the day, when country singers would get on the club circuit, they would travel and play clubs.
Uh-huh.
Everyone from George Jones, Conway, everybody, including Orion, played the Hitchin' Post.
Yeah.
And she showed up at my brother's job one day and had 3 or 4 albums from Orion. I'd never heard of him, and she gave them to me, and there's Elvis on this cover wearing a mask,
Uh-huh.
And I thought, oh, my God, And I thought Elvis was alive, and this was him.
Right.
And one of my most very favorite Orion songs is called, from Orion Country, it's called Texas Tea. And it goes something like this.
I was just a poor boy who lived on 40 acres of bad land. I remember how she laughed the day I asked Joanna for her hand. She called me a plowboy and said she couldn't love the likes of me. Back then we didn't know I would soon discover Texas tea. I told her that I loved her, I would work my fingers to the bone. But Joanna wanted wealth and servants and a mansion for a home. Yes, I was heartbroken, Joanna didn't want me coming around. Back then we didn't know about the Texas tea that bubbled beneath my ground. Stood my cabin, I live in a southern mansion now. I gaze at the oil well stand on the ground I used to plow. Yes, there's someone coming, I think it's Joanna that I see. Well, I haven't seen her since back before I found my Texas tea. Joanna, it's always good to see an old friend. Yes, I still remember I loved you and I begged you for your hand. But I'm just a plowboy, you couldn't love the likes of me. So goodbye, Joanna, I've got to see about my Texas tea. Yeah, goodbye, Joanna, I've got to see about my Texas tea.
You're tuned to WEHC Emory on 90.7 and WISE FM Wise on 90.5. We're also broadcasting in Big Stone Gap on 90.1, Clintwood on 90.3, St. Paul on 90.9, Pound on 91.3, Norton on 91.7, and we're streaming live worldwide at WEHCFM.com. You're listening to The Road Unknown. I'm your host, Bill McKee, and we have a very special guest in studio this evening, Matt Elvis Dollar.
I appreciate it. So to pick up where we left off there, we just heard a song by a guy named Orion, Jimmy Ellis.
Yes.
Going to get to the sad part. 1998, after Jimmy had removed the mask, went back to being Jimmy Ellis, laid Orion down. He went back to Selma, Alabama. That's where he was from. Was running a pawn shop slash liquor store. Very, very small, very poor town.
Mm-hmm.
And sadly, somebody come in to rob him one day, and they end up shooting him and his wife and a young lady that worked for him. Well, him and his wife didn't survive that day.
By golly, what a tragic way to go.
Very tragic and so gifted.
Yeah.
So before we get off the subject of Orion, I'd like to play just one more song by him. And it was originally done by Bobby Goldsboro, and it was on the very first Orion album called Reborn, and it's called Honey.
See the tree, how big it's grown, but friends, it hasn't been too long, it wasn't big. You know I laughed at her and she got mad. The first day that she planted it was just a twig. And then the first snow came and she ran out to brush the snow away so it wouldn't die. Came running in, all excited, slipped, and almost hurt herself. I laughed till I cried. She was always young at heart, kind of dumb and kind of smart, and I loved her so. And I surprised her with a puppy, kept me up all Christmas Eve 2 years ago. It would sure embarrass her when I'd come home from working late, 'cause I would know that she'd been sitting there and crying over some sad and silly late show. And honey, I miss you, and I'm being good. And I'd love to be with you, if only I could. She wrecked the car and she was sad, so afraid that I'd be mad. But what the heck? Though I pretended hard to be, yes, you could say she saw through me, hugged my neck. I came home unexpectedly and found her crying needlessly in the middle of the day. And it was in the early spring when flowers bloomed and robins sang. She went away. And honey, I miss you, and I'm being good, and I'd love to be with you, if only I could. Then one day when I wasn't home, she was there and all alone the angels came. Now all I have is memories of honey, and I wake up nights and call her name. Yes, now my life's an empty stage where honey lived and honey played and love grew up. And a small cloud passes overhead, cries down on the flower bed in love. See the tree, how big it's grown, but friends, it hasn't been too long, it wasn't big.
I am still amazed, Matt, at his voice. Well, if I can get this to work for me tonight. I'm having trouble here on Spotify. All right, we're back to it, Matt. Back to you.
All right, so what we're going to do now is, we were talking about Sun Records, we're talking about Johnny Cash, we're talking about Elvis, we're talking about Orion. One of my very favorite things that Johnny Cash ever did, and I'm sure you'll agree, is The Highwaymen.
Absolutely.
So let's enjoy that one.
I was a highwayman. Along the coach roads I did ride, with sword and pistol by my side. Many a young maid lost her baubles to my trade. Many a soldier shed his lifeblood on my blade. They tongued me in the spring of 25, but I am still alive.
I was a sailor, I was born upon the tide. With the sea I did abide. I sailed a schooner around the Horn of Mexico. I went aloft to furl the mainsail in a blow. And when the yards broke off, they said that I got killed. But I'm living still. I was a dam builder across a river deep and wide, where steel and water did collide. A place called Boulder on the wild Colorado. I slipped and fell into the wet concrete below. They buried me in that great tomb that knows no sound. But I'm still around. I'll always be around and around and around and around and around. I fly a starship across the universe divide. And when I reach the other side, I'll find a place to rest my spirit if I can. Perhaps I may become a highwayman again. Or I may simply be a single drop of rain. But I will remain. I'll be back again and again and again and again and again and
again. Since I first heard that song, Matt, it has been one of my all-time favorites of the Highwaymen. And, of course, I love the vocals of every member.
Oh, I do too. It's amazing. It's an amazing song. So, let me ask you a question. Have you ever seen a movie called Coal Miner's Daughter?
Yes, absolutely.
Who hasn't seen that movie?
You know, I don't know. There can't be many people at all that haven't seen that movie.
Well, I want you to compare a name here, okay? I don't know if you remember a scene in the movie or not, but there's one scene in that movie after Doolittle gets out of the military, and he goes up on a moonshine steel up on a hill. And the first thing he says, Lee Dollarhide? And Lee Dollarhide is, his mother is Loretta's grandmother. And if you watch that movie, some of the opening scenes there, he's the guy who's taking bets that Doolittle can't get that Jeep up that mountain. He is also the same guy that is the moonshiner in the movie that gets killed and shot, that Doolittle puts over a horse and brings back to the house.
Yes, I remember that.
Okay, he's also the first person to tell Loretta to keep singing when he heard her singing on the porch to the babies because it's making his moonshine better.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
I remember that. Yeah.
So, let me give you an interesting fact. There's a an app and a website you can go to where, like Ancestry.com, to find out, where you came from. Well, I guess it's probably about 3 years ago. For Christmas, Misty got everybody these presents for Christmas that made everybody find out where they came from. Check your DNA. Well, my grandfather was a Pentecostal preacher. My great-grandfather, we didn't know a lot about, named Troy Dollar. All I knew is that he was from Kentucky. He ran a post office and a general store. And my granddad used to tell me how wealthy he was, and that I needed to go to Kentucky and try to find the little town that he used to run. Well, we get this thing in the mail and do a swab in my mouth and all that and send it off to check the DNA. And it comes back and I'm kin to all of these dollar hides. And that's the same thing that my granddad had told me, that our great-granddad had changed her name from Dollar Hide to Dollar, but nobody knew why. I thought it was because he was wealthy and he wanted to be named Dollar.
Right.
But what it really boiled down to, once I did a little research, was Lee Dollarhide, the moonshiner and coal miner's daughter, is my great-uncle.
That is pretty amazing.
So we did a little bit more research, and I'm kin to all of the butchers, all of the Webbs, and all of the Dollarhides in Butcher Holler.
By golly.
So that's the town that my great-granddad was the mayor of, ran the post office, and the general store. And this next song right here is from a very, very favorite and famous cousin of mine, Miss Loretta Lynn. Very proud of her.
Well, I was born to coal miner's daughter in a cabin on a hill in Butcher Holler. We were poor, but we had love. That's the one thing that Daddy made sure of. He shoveled coal to make a poor man's dollar. My daddy worked all night in the Vanlier coal mines, all day long in the field hoeing corn. Mommy rocked the babies that night and read the Bible by the coal oil light, and everything would start all over come break of morn. Daddy loved and raised their kids on a miner's pay. Mommy scrubbed our clothes on a washboard every day. Why, I've seen her fingers bleed. To complain, there was no need. She'd smile in Mommy's understanding way. In the summertime, we didn't have shoes to wear, but in the wintertime, we'd all get a brand new pair. From a mail order catalog, money made from selling a hog. Daddy always managed to get the money somewhere. Yeah, I'm proud to be a coal miner's daughter. I remember well the well where I drew water. The work we done was hard. At night we'd sleep 'cause we worked hard. I never thought of ever leaving Butcher Holler. Well, a lot of things have changed since way back then, and it's so good to be back home again. Not much left but the floor. Nothing lives here anymore except the memories of a coal miner's daughter.
Wow. That really is something to hear my cousin sing.
That's an incredible song to begin with. And the movie, I was just blown away when I saw it because, you know, just like you and so many other artists coming out of Butcher Holler.
And I'm blown away that I'm kin to Loretta Lynn.
Yeah, and you have all these cousins and uncles and things up in...
Yeah, my first trip over is like a family reunion. I met everybody in town. I was kin to everybody there.
Yeah.
But what's cool is I don't know if anybody knows it or not. Well, I mean, I'm sure they do, but I've got a television show on Friday nights on MeTV, also WKPT TV 19 in Kingsport, ARC TV based out of Norton, Arnie Binko's channel over there. And it's called The Matt Dollar Show.
Uh-huh.
And on that show, you can also pull it up on YouTube, The Matt Dollar Show. I've just received the Silver YouTube Play Button Award for 5 million viewers on there.
Oh, that's great.
Which is an honor because I cannot believe that many people even care. But, I mean, I put some junk on there that's crazy, and I cannot believe that. And that's probably why they watch it. I'm sure it's not because of me. It's probably all the other stuff I do.
Well, I'm not so sure about that now. With all the things you do and that you put out there and work on, Matt.
My YouTube channel's very versatile.
Uh-huh.
It's not just Elvis. It's not just cars. I mean, it's everything that I do. My entire life is on there, and it's crazy. It's like watching a circus in person, you know. But I've got 3 episodes on there all about Butcher Holler, Loretta Lynn, and Lee Dollarhide. So if anybody would like to get more in-depth and see how all this works as far as our family tree, that's a great place to start.
Yes, it would be well worth your time to go watch those because there's a lot of history involved there.
Oh, yeah, and it's, you know, and a lot of it makes sense now, like my musical roots.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I mean, it just came naturally.
Yeah, I mean, I was just born singing, you know. So, and it's been a really blessing, a big blessing. It really has. But it's just it's like I said, it's a blessing, and everybody knows who Loretta Lynn is.
Yeah, well, that brings up, I've got to tell you one quick story. A dear friend of mine who used to perform at the Trade Days Festival over in Trade, Tennessee, he is mostly Aztec blood from Mexico, a dancer, wore the big feather headdress and all that.
Wow.
And Javier told me one time that he was invited to perform at Loretta Lynn's ranch for some event they were having there.
Yeah, they have big events over there.
And so he said, of course, he performed there, but he was invited to have supper with Loretta Lynn and whoever was there at her dinner table. And Javier told me, he said, during the entire thing, I'm sitting there thinking, who is Loretta Lynn? Who is Loretta Lynn? I know she's famous, but who is she? And he said, I got back to the motel room that night, turned on the TV, and immediately what came on was Coal Miner's Daughter.
Wow.
And he said, now I know who Loretta Lynn is. So I mean, Matt, what roots you have.
Yeah, and it's crazy. I've got a guitar player in my band named Will Skeens.
Yes, I was going to ask you about your band, too.
And him, Mark Dollar, my cousin, which is also Kendall Loretta, my brother Rick, we've all been to Butcher Holler, and we actually metal detected, tracked down, and found where the moonshine still was, and where Lee Dollarhide's house was. And it is directly beside of Loretta's house.
By golly.
And you have to kind of look for it now because the foundation and everything is gone. There's very few remnants of it now, but we have found it.
By golly, that's pretty amazing. And I was just thinking about what you were saying a while ago from the movie where keep singing because it helps my moonshine.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's amazing. And, you know, with my travels and stuff over time, not just Loretta Lynn, I mean, Johnny Cash, I made friends with Tom T. Hall. I don't know if you remember him or not.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Great guy. I loved Tom T. And he was a fantastic man. And one thing that, how I met him was an interesting story. I was over at Carter Folds one day, and I was over there talking to them about the, Johnny Cash and my song and all that stuff, and over there talking about the Carter family. And she was out driving me around, showing me the house that Johnny and June lived in, took me to the cemetery, showed me all the Carter's graves, So we're driving down this little street, and there's this little tiny house. And she said, "Yeah, Tom T. lives right there." And I said, "Who?" She said, "Tom T. Hall." I said, "Pull me in there." So she pulls in. I go up, knock on the door, and all of a sudden, door opens. There's Tom T. Hall. I put my hand out and I said, "Hi, I'm Matt Dollar. I'm a singer." He said, "Hi, Matt. I'm Tom T. and I used to be. Come on in."
By golly.
So 2 hours later, we're friends. And
I'll be darned.
his wife, Dixie, was there that day.
Uh-huh.
And they had 2 basset hounds in that house. And shortly after this, she passed away. And not long after that, poor Tom T. took his own life.
By golly, that's to me always so sad.
I would love to play a song by my friend, Tom T. Hall.
All right. What are we playing, Matt? Homecoming?
That'll be great.
All right.
I guess I should have written Dad to let you know that I was coming home. I've been gone so many years, I didn't realize you had a phone. I saw your cattle coming in, boy, they're looking mighty fat and slick. I saw Fred at the service station, told me that his wife was awful sick. You heard my record on the radio, oh well, it's just another song. But I've got a hit recorded, and it'll be out on the market for too long. I got this ring in Mexico, and no, it didn't cost me quite a bunch. When you're in the business that I'm in, the people call it putting up a front. I know I've lost a little weight, and I guess I am looking kind of pale. If you didn't know me better, Dad, you'd think that I'd just gotten out of jail. No, we don't ever call them beer joints. Nightclubs are the places where I work. You meet a lot of people there, but no, there ain't no chance of getting hurt. I'm sorry that I couldn't be here with you all when Mama passed away. I was on the road, and when they came and told me it was just too late, I drove by the grave to see her. Boy, that really is a pretty stone. I'm glad that Fred and Jan are here. It's better than you being here alone. Well, I knew you was gonna ask me who the lady is that's sleeping in the car. That's just a girl that works for me, and man, she plays a pretty mean guitar. We worked in San Antonio last night. She didn't even have the time to dress. She drove me down from Nashville, and to tell the truth, I guess she needs the rest. Well, Dad, I gotta go. We got a dance to work in Cartersville tonight. Let me take your number down, I'll call you, and I promise you I'll write. Now you be good, don't be chasing all those pretty women that you know. And by the way, if you see Barbara Walker, tell her that I said hello.
Wow. He was amazing. And that day I was sitting there playing and talking to him.
Yeah.
I'll tell you something cool is he was playing an Ovation guitar that day. When I walked in, there was an Ovation guitar laying there on a footstool. A piece of paper, and he was still trying to write something. And we sat down there, and I wrote some old crazy, silly songs that I can't sing today.
Right.
You know. And I sat there and sung those songs to him and cut up with him, beat on his guitar, you know. And he put up with me and called my dad and said hi to my dad. What's crazy is I was at the Country Music Hall of Fame about 7 or 8 months ago. Walked in, and that Ovation guitar is on display at the Country Music Hall of Fame.
I'll be darned. Well, you know, it's like you and all the things you collect and save. I am glad people are doing that because so many things get lost in the dust as time passes.
Somebody passes away, and nobody knows that story.
Right. Absolutely.
Stories are very important.
Yes, they are.
And when people pass away, stories die with them if they don't tell them to somebody else.
Yes, absolutely.
So I am kind of known as a storyteller like Tom T. I tell a lot of tales.
Well, that was one of the things I've been looking forward to this evening because I knew you had not only all the things you have accomplished and the things you do, and we barely scratched the surface on some of them yet, but I knew you had a lot of stories.
Oh, I'm full of stories. And the good thing about it is I have a cell phone here full of photographs. I can back them up.
Yeah. And in some ways, it's too bad we don't have a visual connection here where we could share some of those with you. But Matt did give you the website. You can go look up things there. It's amazing what Matt has posted online.
MattElvisDollar.com. And you also look me up on Facebook.
And while we're talking about it, Matt, and we'll also try to do it again before we go off air later, but how people can contact you. Can they do it just directly through your website?
Through my website, MattElvisDollar.com. There's a place there you can go and hit contact.
Okay, very good.
Send me a message.
Very good.
Or you can send me a message via Facebook, which is Matt Elvis Dollar.
Yeah, because here in a little while we're going to talk about some of the other things Matt does, which you may be interested in getting in touch with him for some events upcoming.
Let's hope so.
Yeah.
I try to not waste any time in my life. I let no grass grow under my feet.
I understand that just from what little I know about what you do, Matt.
And another singer, you know, we were talking about Tom T. Hall there. Back in, I guess, the early 2000s, I had ventured up to Saltville and opened up there one day for Billy Walker. Do you remember him?
Yes, I do.
Great guy. I love Billy Walker, and he was a tremendous guy. He was a great guy. And he had written a song about Elvis and wanted an Elvis-style singer to sing it and record it. He had a little recording studio in his basement. He said, if you ever make it to Nashville, Matt, look me up. I'll help you out. Weeks later, I was loading my car, selling my crap, and going to Billy Walker's house.
By golly.
He got me a job. He had my electricity cut on. He helped me pay the deposit, get an apartment. He hooked me up with 2 or 3 guys. I was doing singing telegrams. I was doing commercials. I did all kinds of stuff trying to survive. He got me all kinds of little shows. He hooked me up with a company called Soundcheck, and that's who puts on concert tours.
Right. I'm familiar with that company.
Well, Soundcheck, if, for instance, if the listeners don't know, say if back when Jimmy Buffett was performing, he didn't own all of that stuff. He would call Soundcheck, and he'd say, okay, I'm getting ready to go on tour, and Soundcheck put the tour together. So that's a great company. And how I got hooked up with them, not just was him, was I got back from Nashville one day, and I got a phone call from a photographer. That's what you used to do. And the photographer told me, he said, Matt, we need you to come back to Nashville. I just walked in the door. And I said, for what? He said, well, we just need to shoot some pictures and some short video clips of you, and what would you charge us? And I said, $2,500. I threw something stupid out there. He said, no problem, be here at 6 o'clock.
Dang.
So me and my dad get in my van to go back to Nashville, and it's a sound check. We get to Sound Check Studios. They're filming CMT music videos inside this same building. And we walk in, and I'm recording all of the video footage for Winona Judd's music video for Burning Love, and all the video for the projection screen whenever she would sing Burning Love, because it was in the movie Lilo and Stitch. So she did the soundtrack to that. So see how you can just fall into things?
Yeah. Yeah, you never know what doors are gonna open in front of you.
Oh yeah, and another thing was he introduced me to a guy by the name of Tony Wade, and Tony owned a Holiday Inn and Legends Bar in Nashville, and it was right there on 16th Avenue on Music Row.
Yeah,
I walked in there trying to get a room. I had $48 in my pocket. I'd spent all my money trying to get there from Bristol to Nashville. Everything I owned stuffed in my minivan. And as soon as I walked in, Tony Wade said, "You're definitely not from here. You're the craziest looking cat I've ever seen." I had on a black leather jacket with fringe and crazy. Anyway, he said, "You want a job?" I said, "Oh, yeah."
Yeah.
So I'm living in Nashville for 10 minutes. Pulled in, and I've got a job at Legends Bar. I performed every time they didn't have anybody else to sing, and the rest of the time I helped him keep everything clean and took care of.
By golly.
And an interesting thing about it was Tony also owned Webb Pierce's house at the time, and that was the famous guitar-shaped swimming pool.
Right. Oh, okay. I've seen pictures of it.
3-story house, and I lived on the second floor. And I kept the pool clean for the Country Music Hall of Fame tours. And one night, I'm sitting in Tony's place, performing, singing, and I start being heckled by a guy in the audience, a drunk. I wasn't happy.
Oh, I'll bet.
I've never drank my entire life. Spent my entire life working, singing, traveling, starving. And then I've got some jerk in the crowd heckling me. So I get mad and I walk off stage and I tell Tony, I said, "Will you please shut that drunk up?" And he said, "Man, you don't want me to shut that guy up." And I said, "Why?" He said, "Because it's this guy right here."
Oh, by golly.
And it was the famous Jerry Reed.
Well, I quit my job down at the car wash, left my mama a goodbye note. By sundown, I left Kingston with my guitar up under my coat. I hitchhiked all the way down to Memphis, got a room at the YMCA. For the next 3 weeks, I went a haunting them nightclubs looking for a place to play. Well, I thought my picking would set them on fire, but nobody wanted to hire a guitar man. Well, I nearly about starved to death down in Memphis. I run out of money and luck, so I bummed me a ride down to Macon, Georgia on an overloaded poultry truck. I thumbed on down to Panama City, started checking out some of them all-night bars, hoping I could make myself $1 making music on my guitar. Got the same old story, them all-night peers. There ain't no room around here for a guitar man. We don't need a guitar man, son. So I slept in hobo jungles, bombed 1,000 miles of track, till I found myself in Mobile, Alabama, at a club they called Big Jack's. A little 4-piece band was jamming, so I took my guitar and I set in. I showed them what a band would sound like with a swinging little guitar man. If you ever take a trip down to the ocean, find yourself down around Mobile, or make it on out to the club called Jackson, you've got a little time to kill. Just follow that crowd of people, you'll wind up out on his dance floor, digging the finest little five-piece group up and down the Gulf of Mexico. And guess who's leading that five-piece band? Why wouldn't you know it's that swinging little guitar man? Yeah, yeah. Guitar man.
You're tuned to WEHC and WISE FM. Well, Matt, so you were heckled by Jerry Reed.
Jerry Reed, the same man we just listened to.
That's pretty phenomenal.
Still makes me mad to hear him sing. But, he was a very kind of guy. He told me a story that I told you during the song there, but I'm going to clean it up a little bit.
All right, sounds good.
He said the song Guitar Man, 1968, Elvis wanted to record that song. And he said, well, the only way Elvis can cut my song is if I get to play guitar on it.
Uh-huh.
Because he wanted not just royalties for the song, but for playing on the song.
Right.
It's going to be an instant hit, you know.
Right.
I mean, Elvis could read the phone book.
Yeah, and it's going to be a hit.
Be a gold record, you know. So anyway, he said that, he went to RCA Studio B, waiting on Elvis. An hour later, here comes Elvis and his bodyguards in. This is, remember, 1968.
Uh-huh.
Elvis was a very handsome man at that time.
In his prime.
In his prime. And he said as soon as Elvis walked in the door, he said, golly, he said, man, you're so pretty, I'd kiss you myself. And Elvis turned around and said, throw this guy out. He didn't know who he was. 30 minutes later, Elvis is saying, well, where's this phenomenal guitar player at? And they're like, man, you threw him out a half an hour ago. So anyway, that was his kind of that's the cleaned up version of Elvis throwing Jerry Reed out of the studio. So Jerry Reed heckled me kind of in return, I think.
Yeah, possibly so. But what a story for him to tell also.
And later that night, he couldn't drive.
By golly.
So I had to stuff him in my little minivan and give him a ride.
Well, very good, Matt. Very good.
But it's amazing. I've lived an interesting life. I've not been bored for a minute.
I can so easily imagine. And, of course, at my age, I have learned quite well how small the world really is. I mean, the people you have met, you encounter, you never know. Run into them in a pawn shop or wherever.
I bumped into a guy one time in Tokyo, Japan.
Not surprised at all.
I was in Tokyo, downtown, and I heard a guy say, Matt Dollar? And I was like, what the world?
I'm in Tokyo. Who could this be?
Yeah, but see, we look very different to them.
Yeah. But just phenomenal how small a world it is.
It is amazing. I'd like to play a quick little Elvis song right quick. And I'd like to send this one out in memory of my mother. She's passed away 29 years ago.
By golly, 29 years.
29 years ago. I was 23. It tells you a little bit about how old I am now.
Yeah.
But I'd like to dedicate this song to her.
All right, this is Loving Arms from Elvis Presley.
If you could see me now, the one who said that he'd rather roam, the one who said he'd rather be alone. If you could only see me now, if I could hold you now, just for a moment, if I could really make you mine, just for a while, turn chains and lying in your loving arms again. If you could hear me now, singing somewhere in the lonely night, dreaming of the arms that held me tight. If you could only hear me now. Oh, I've been too long in the wind, too long in the rain, taking any comfort that I can. Looking back and longing for the freedom of my chains and lying in your loving arms again. I can almost feel your loving arms again.
Great song.
Yes, it is an absolutely beautiful song.
So let me ask you a question. Where were you the day that Elvis died?
I could not tell you.
You're the first person I've ever asked that question.
I could not tell you.
Most people remember where they were the day Elvis died and JFK.
Yeah. JFK, I remember being at my grandfather's house the day he was killed. But I don't remember where I was the day Elvis died.
Yeah, I was standing in the front yard, and Merrill Moore had said on the news that Elvis had passed away, and my mother was sitting in a swing outside crying because Elvis had died on August the 16th of 1977, and my mother's birthday was August 16th. He died on her birthday.
Wow.
And it was her 40th birthday, and I walked outside and I said, "Mama, why are you crying?" She said, "You wouldn't understand. I turned 40 today." I said, "Well, I thought you were crying because Elvis died." Oh, it was awful. I mean, then I just really opened a can of worms. Neighbors was coming outside. It was not the world we live in now. People were coming outside on their porches yelling to the neighbors, "Elvis Presley died." You know, we didn't have cell phones. We didn't have social media.
Right.
People was going outside knocking on the neighbor's door, "Hey, Elvis died." You know, it was it was a whole different world.
Yeah.
And this next song really made me love Elvis, and it's from his very last concert from Indianapolis, Indiana, from June 26th, and it's called My Way.
This next song was recorded by Frank Sinatra, and it's called My Way. I don't know the words to it, so I had to read it, if you don't mind. And now the end is near, and so I face the final curtain. My friend, I'll say it clear, I state my case, of which I'm certain. I've lived a life that's full, I traveled each and every highway and more, much more than this, I did it my way. Regrets, I've had a few, but then again, too few to mention. I did what I had to do and saw it through without exemption. I planned each charted course, each careful step along the byway, oh, and more more than this. I did it my way. Yes, there were times, I'm sure you knew, when I bit off more than I could chew. But through it all, there was doubt. I ate it up and spit it out. I faced it all, and I stood tall and did it my way. I've loved, I've laughed and cried, I've had my fill, my share of losing, and now, as tears subside, I find it all so amusing to think I did all that, and may I say, not in a shy way, oh no, not me. I did it my way. Oh, what is a man? What has he got? If not himself, then he has not to say the word he truly feels. And not the words the world lives. The record shows I took the blow. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We'll meet you again. May God bless you. Adios.
All right, Matt. My Way.
That's right.
Live.
That's amazing, isn't it?
That is truly amazing.
His last concert and how powerful that voice is.
Yeah. You know, I've heard that song before, but I do not think I have ever heard that live version before.
Oh, it's magnificent.
Yeah. I've always loved that song from the very first time I heard it. But phenomenal.
Some of the people that's listening, if I don't get tongue-tied here, they all know that I collect records. I collect all kinds of really cool Elvis stuff. And at the present moment, I've got about 1,900 Elvis records.
Which is phenomenal. And one of the things I failed to talk with Matt about before he came this evening, we have two perfectly good turntables here.
I know, and I would have loved to have brought some records.
We never even thought about it. Well, we can do this again.
Yeah, we'll have to do a second part at some point.
Yeah, we'll do part two and bring in some of those albums, and we'll sure put them on and play them.
Do you remember American Country Countdown?
Yes.
Late 70s, early 80s?
Yes.
I'll never forget hearing the song Moody Blue on there.
Oh, I remember Moody Blue.
And that was Elvis's last album. And it was pressed on blue vinyl. And up until this time, nobody had really seen a colored vinyl. Very few.
Yeah.
And there was some colored vinyls back in the 1930s and 40s, but they never really caught on.
Right.
Elvis never had a colored vinyl until his last album. And interesting fact was most people who collect records, they all try to collect a blue vinyl Moody Blue. And in the record collecting world, it's one of the less valuable Elvis records. Because you got to think about it. Elvis, the biggest recording artist of all time.
Yeah.
What makes something rare is somebody not buying it, right?
Very true. Okay, I was thinking about that one wrong.
Yes, because so you think of a record that someone doesn't like, nobody's buying it, 30 years later it's rare.
Yeah.
You got somebody like Elvis Presley who everything he sings is awesome.
Is gold, yeah.
Is gold. So a lot of his records are not as valuable as people wish they were.
Well, after what you're saying, that makes perfect sense.
So what I'd like to do right now is the very last song that Elvis ever released is Moody Blue.
Oh.
And
do we have that one?
I would love to play that for
All right.
the listeners if we could.
If you'll talk for a minute, let me see if I can find that one.
Okay, I'll tell you a little interesting fact about it. It was actually written by a guy by the name of Mark James. And Mark James was a songwriter that Elvis had befriended down in Nashville. And he's also the same guy that wrote the song Suspicious Minds. And that was Elvis's last #1 hit. But this right here is the greatest recording. I think I love this song. And I hope everybody else enjoys it. It's my favorite Elvis song, Moody Blue.
Changes every time. When you think you're gonna win, you think she's giving in. A stranger's all you'll find. Yeah, it's hard to figure out what she's all about, but she's woman through and through. She's a complicated lady, so call her my baby, a Moody Blue. Oh, Moody Blue, tell me am I getting through? I keep hanging on, trying to learn this song, but I never do. Oh, Moody Blue, tell me who I'm talking to. You're like night and day, it's hard to say which one's you. Well, when Monday comes, she's Tuesday. When Tuesday comes, she's Wednesday. And to another day again. Her personality unwinds just like a ball of twine on a spool that never ends. Just when I think I know her well, her emotions reveal she's not the person that I thought I knew. But she's a complicated lady, so I call her my baby, a Moody Blue. Oh, Moody Blue, tell me am I getting through? I keep her hanging on, trying to learn the song, but I never do. Yeah, Moody Blue, tell me who I'm talking to. You're like night and day, it's hard to say which one is you. I'm afraid of my Moody Blue. Oh, Moody Blue, tell me who I'm talking to. You're like night and day, and it's hard to say which one is you. Yeah, Moody Blue, tell me am I getting through? I keep her hanging on, trying to learn this song, but I never do.
Man, I have to admit, there's another Elvis song I have never heard before.
Really?
Yeah,
Guess how many Elvis songs there is?
I couldn't even begin to guess.
610.
610.
But that's not counting all the unreleased outtakes and stuff like that. If you count all of that stuff, there's thousands of recordings of Elvis. It's amazing. So much that you can go on Sirius XM radio and listen to the Elvis channel.
I'm sure about that.
And you can listen to it and never hear the same thing. I mean, it's amazing. He's got his own radio. But, I'd like to invite everybody to come out to my show. We're having a big Elvis show August 16th on the anniversary of Elvis's death. It's going to be at Central Middle School in Bluntville, Tennessee. Used to be the Central High School there at exit 66.
Yeah, very easy to find, very easy access.
Got a beautiful school, beautiful auditorium.
Yeah, right off Interstate.
The doors will open at 6. The show starts at 7. It'll be me, my full full stage band.
Uh-huh.
Well, I call them the TCB band, which after Elvis's band. And again, we're going to have Mark Dollar on the drums, my cousin.
Mm-hmm.
William Skeens on guitar.
Uh-huh.
Going to have Danny Tittle on guitar.
Uh-huh.
Ron Ely on bass.
Yeah, that name's very familiar to me.
Adam Lane on piano.
Uh-huh.
Misty Vanette on vocals.
Oh, you're going to have the whole big band.
The whole shebang. It's going to be a great show.
Don't
Full
miss
band.
it.
And nobody wants to miss that. But tickets are only $10. Very affordable for a show. Kids under 12 are free and veterans are free, always at my shows.
And Matt's shows are well worth attending, well worth seeing.
You've been to my shows.
Yes, I have. I've even participated with you in a show or two.
Yeah.
I remember up at the Lyric a few years ago up in Marion.
And at the Lincoln.
And the Lincoln, that's the one I was thinking of, not the Lyric, the Lincoln.
I've played the Lyric, though. I've played several theaters.
I could imagine. Now, once again, Matt, when is this?
August 16th.
All right. Don't miss it. Doors open 6.
Show is at 7.
Yeah,
Tickets $10, free for veterans and free for kids under 12.
Right there at Central
Middle School, Bloomfield, Tennessee.
Right off I-81.
Yeah. So, really looking forward to that.
All right, you are tuned to WEHC Emory on 90.7 and WISE FM Wise on 90.5. We're also coming to you in Big Stone Gap on 90.1, Clintwood on 90.3, St. Paul on 90.9, Pound on 91.3, Norton on 91.7, and we're streaming live worldwide at WEHCFM.com. Well, I'll tell you, Matt, these 2 hours are sure going by very quickly.
I've enjoyed it. We've covered a lot of ground, but, man, I've still got several things that I could talk about.
Yeah, we haven't even touched on several things.
A lot of things that I do, you can go on Amazon and buy the book.
Very good.
I've written 9 books. So you can go in there and look under Matt Dollar author or Matt Elvis Dollar book or Matt Dollar book, and I've got several books on there.
And you wrote those in your spare time.
In my spare time when I didn't have nothing to do while I was sleeping and stuff.
Right. Amazing, Matt.
But Elvis is not the only thing that I do.
Oh, absolutely not.
Me and you shared a gig last Christmas.
Yes, we did. And you could not believe what an incredible Grinch Matt is.
And not because I'm grumpy, because I'm green.
No, because he has a phenomenal regalia. And the mask he actually made it himself. It conforms to his face. So Matt's real. When he puts on the Grinch costume, he is the Grinch.
Just like you're Santa Claus.
Yeah, and Matt joined me one evening at Speedway and Lights this past Christmas. And I know for my part, I had a great time. I just loved watching Matt interact with the children and the parents, and they all had a ball. It was just an incredible evening there in the Santa Hut.
We had a great time.
Lights, yeah. And speaking of Santa, I've done Santa now for nearly 30 years, and due to my age and an alternating bad knee, bad hip, bad shoulder, I have been giving up a number of my public appearances because, Santa doesn't need to fall in front of a bunch of children. So
they're counting on you.
Oh, yeah, you bet. So another thing Matt is looking into, Matt is going to start filling the Santa suit. So
I've learned from the best.
Well, I don't know about the best, but I have sure tried to be the best I can be for the children.
And you have been. You are the best.
Yeah,
You're
because
the best Santa.
and I found one of the keys to, and it works for me. I don't pretend to be anything when I'm in the suit. I'm just like you and I are sitting here talking now. And one of the things, especially some of the older children notice is, I'm not sure who this guy is, but he sure is real. So I found just being myself is the key to being Santa, and I care about the children.
And that's like when I'm Elvis on stage.
Yeah,
I'm not Elvis.
Right.
I'm Matt Dollar.
Right. And it works.
It does work.
It works. And speaking of Matt Elvis Dollar and Elvis, you may not be aware of this, but please do go look at Matt's website. Matt makes not only the Grinch, but he makes all of his own jumpsuits for Elvis. And I cannot imagine you could purchase anywhere from the finest designer anything better than what you make, Matt. I mean,
I appreciate that
they're
very
just
much.
Well, they are. You know that. They are professional. They are incredible.
I've spent my entire life perfecting those suits, but
Yeah.
I also make other costumes. You know, I make, like you mentioned, the Grinch, but I make all kinds of costumes, all kinds of movie props. I build cars, street rods. One thing I've done, I've built 12 Batmobiles.
Yeah, and if you have not seen one of these Batmobiles, you would think you're in the movie.
I'm really proud of them.
Yeah, you should be.
And I've even built them for some high clientele. One of my best friends is a professional wrestler by the name of Jerry Lawler.
Ah, yes. Yeah, you've been friends with Jerry for a long time.
Going on 14 years.
By golly.
And that's how we met, was over the Batmobile at a Fanboy Expo in Knoxville.
I'll be darned.
He was sitting across from me for 3 days, and Adam West was coming, and had the Batmobile on display, and I was getting more pictures took than Jerry the King Lawler, and the next thing you know, Jerry the King Lawler is driving home in a Batmobile. So, been very proud of that. And, mentioning Jerry Lawler, I don't know if anybody has heard about it yet, except for my Facebook followers and my YouTube channel and my TV show. But starting next month, I'm going to start having a Saturday morning TV show, too. And it's going to be called King Wrestling Promotions. And it's going to be the nostalgic, old-school Saturday morning, let's get up and watch wrestling on TV show.
Oh, that'll take people back a number of years, yeah.
So what I've done is I've went out and I've acquired one of the original WCW wrestling rings that was a studio ring for Ted Turner on the Superstation in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah, Matt just showed me pictures a little while ago.
And that wrestling ring has been, everybody's been in that. Dusty Rhodes, Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan. I mean, everybody's been in that ring. My friend Jerry the King Lawler's been in that ring. And what we're doing is we're going to start traveling around doing one wrestling show a month at a variety of schools, different venues, filming that wrestling show 2 hours, and having 4 30-minute TV episodes every Saturday morning.
I could see where that could be very popular.
Oh, yeah.
And draw a lot of people in.
I've had a lot of people jump in, and it really has just fell into place. Everybody trying to help and being involved.
Yeah.
I've got some other guys involved, Rated R Wrestling, Tighten the Turnbuckle Wrestling. They've jumped in there. We're all kind of working together, helping one another on there. So it's going to be a really good thing. We've got a big wrestling show coming up at Hickory Tree Market in Hickory Tree, which is in Bristol, Tennessee.
Yeah.
And that's going to be on August the 9th. Bell time is 7 p.m.
August 9th.
So if anybody wants to see me wrestle,
whichever
however
way
you want to
wanna
say it,
put
I'm going to probably end up breaking a guitar over somebody.
And if you've never been in Hickory Tree, you really should go. It's a beautiful part of the county.
Yeah, take a gun.
Yeah, do be careful out there.
But it's going to be interesting. But, if anybody'd like to look at my website, again, it's mattelvisdollar.com. And I would appreciate it. You can contact me on there. You can reach out to me on Facebook, Matt Elvis Dollar. You can send me I think I've reached my friend limit on there, but you can always send me a message request, and I can make room for you and get you added on there one way or another. But I've enjoyed everything today, us being here and talking and telling a little bit about my life and about, people I've met. It's been interesting.
And don't forget, you may want to contact Matt. I mean, we've got the holidays coming up pretty quick. Here it is, almost August, which I can't believe. And, you got the Grinch, you got Santa, many other things Matt is involved in. So be sure and give Matt a holler, and I know he can help you out, especially during his spare time.
Yeah, my spare time. I'd like to mention my dad tonight. I lost him on April the 5th, and one of my biggest fans.
Yeah, I know you were very close with your father.
Yeah. And he loved Johnny Cash, and I used to call my dad and tell him, when I was living in Nashville, I worked at Opryland and worked different places as Elvis. And I'll never forget, I'd call my dad some nights, and I'd say, it's before cell phones, and I'd say, hey, Dad, guess what? I bumped into Johnny Cash today. And one day, me and him was in a Sizzler steakhouse, and then come Johnny Cash.
By golly.
And Johnny Cash said, he came over and stuck his hand down and said, hey, Matt. My daddy got all tongue-tied, and he said, Mr. Cash, I love that song, Ball of Fire. He said, it's called Ring of Fire, son. But it was an interesting day there. And this is one of my dad's favorite Johnny Cash songs right here. It's called Sunday Morning Coming Down. And I'd like to play this for my dad, because I know if there's any way at all he's looking down right now, he's smiling.
Well, I know that's very possible. All right.
Here's a song I like to do. Chris Stuyvesant wrote it. And it's a song that I like to do it because it makes me reflect back on where I've been. It kind of keeps me off the street. That's important for me to do, to look back where I've been, because I don't want to lose track of where I am, trying to go. Well, I woke up Sunday morning with no way to hold my head that didn't hurt. And the beer I had for breakfast wasn't bad, so I had one more for dessert. Then I fumbled in my closet, through my clothes, and found my cleanest dirty shirt. Then I washed my face and combed my hair, stumbled down the stairs to meet the day. I smoked my mind the night before with cigarettes and songs that I'd been picking. But I lit my first and watched a small boy cussing at a can that he'd been kicking. I crossed the empty street, caught the Sunday smell of someone frying chicken. And it took me back to something that I lost somewhere, somehow along the way. On a Sunday morning sidewalk, oh, I'm wishing, Lord, that I was stoned. 'Cause there's something in a Sunday that makes the body feel alone. Oh, and there ain't nothing short of dying half as lonesome as the sound of a sleeping city sidewalk. Sunday morning coming down. In the park I saw a daddy with a laughing little girl that he was swinging. And I stopped beside a Sunday school, listened to the songs that they was singing. I headed down the road. Somewhere far away a lonely bell was ringing, and it echoed through the canyons like a disappearing dream of yesterday. On a Sunday morning sidewalk, I'm wishing, Lord, that I was stoned, 'cause there's something about a Sunday that'll make your body feel alone. Oh, and there ain't nothing short of dying half as lonesome as the sound of a sleeping city sidewalk. Sunday morning coming down.
Now the old hometown looks the same as I step down from the train. At a meet me is my mama and my papa, down the road I look and there runs Mary, hair of gold and lips like cherry. Lord, it's good to touch the green, green grass of home. Now the old house is still standing, though the paint is cracked and dry, as an old tree that I used to play on. Now the lane I walk, my sweet Mary, hair of gold and lips like cherry. Lord, it's good to touch the green, green grass of home. Yes, they'll all come to see me, arms reaching, smiling sweetly. Oh, again I'll touch the green, green grass of home. Then I awake and look around me at 4 gray walls that surround me. Then I realize, yes, I was only dreaming. There's a garden, there's a sad old padre, arm in arm we'll walk at daybreak again. I'll touch the green, green grass of home. Yes, they'll all come to see me in the shade of that old oak tree as they lay me beneath the green, green grass of home. Yes, they'll all come to see me in the shade of that old oak tree as they lay me beneath the green, green grass of home.
Wow. I love Jimmy Ellis. So you didn't know if that was Jimmy Ellis or Elvis, did you?
No, you didn't. I mean, I could imagine being a listener out there, you would think you were listening to Elvis.
So I was talking about my show coming up there, August 16th. I'm going to give you guys a little taste here. Our shows are like seeing a 70s Elvis concert. And, I mean, it starts with 2001: A Space Odyssey, CC Rider, I Got a Woman. I mean, it goes through the whole thing. But I was going to let you hear a little song here. It's one of my favorites. And Elvis did a show in 1973 called Elvis Aloha from Hawaii.
Uh-huh.
And up until this time, the most viewed thing in television history was man's first step on the moon.
Mm-hmm.
Until Elvis did Aloha from Hawaii.
By golly, it outdid man's first step on the moon, which I did watch. I remember,
There was several 100 million people watching the TV that day in 1969.
I can imagine.
100 million. But the day that Elvis did Aloha from Hawaii, there was 1.5 billion with a B tuned in to watch Elvis at one time. And this is me and Will Skeens doing a song from Elvis Aloha from Hawaii.
In the early morning rain, with the dawn in my hand, and the music in my heart, and the pipes full of sand. I'm a long ways from home, and I miss my loved ones so. In the early morning rain, with no place to go, out on runway number 9, big 707 on the go. Calls them out here on the ground, where the papers never go. Can't jump a jet plane, can't jump a plane, like you can a freight train, like a freight train. So I best feel my way in the early morning rain. So I best feel my way in the early morning rain.
So what do you think about that?
I thought it was really good. Of course, I've seen your shows, too. I've been to more than one.
Oh, yeah,
so.
you've been to a few. So how have you enjoyed tonight?
I have thoroughly had a great time. I have loved all the stories you've told, Matt.
And you know what? I want you to make yourself at home while you're here. How about that?
All right. Very good.
I'm
very
the
good.
guest here, and I'm trying to take the show over.
Oh, that's all right. You've done great. Been a wonderful guest. And as I mentioned when you first got here today, as many of the listeners know, this is my second home right here in this chair.
Oh, it's amazing. I mean, you've really impressed me. I mean, I've only known you from being Santa Claus, you know.
I've only messed up, twice tonight.
Just
really.
twice?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, it's par
That's
for
not
the
bad.
course. It is live radio.
Live radio, and it's been a really good time, and I've really enjoyed this a whole lot.
Well, now, is there anything we have not covered, at least briefly talked about in your career, things you've done, things you're into, things you're planning coming up?
I've got a lot of things I'm planning to do.
Yeah.
People ask me all the time, Matt, when are you going to quit? Probably when somebody from the funeral home gets a hold of me, I would say. I would say that's probably when I'll be done, is when I'm being embalmed.
Yeah, that's kind of like me, too. I don't plan on being finished until...
I'm going to have one big show that day.
Yeah. And gone.
I'm going to make it into a big, gaudy circus of a funeral.
Very good.
And I'm going to have some really cool music playing at my funeral. One will be this right here.
I said, Susie Q, baby, I love you, my Susie Q. I like the way you walk. I like Well, say you'll be true and never leave me blue, my Susie Q. All right, play it for me one time.
Susie Q, another one of our amazing songs going back. When did that first come out, Matt? Do you know?
I'm not sure. I think in the late 60s.
That makes sense. Ed Hibbets would know, I'm sure. Ed does the oldies here on WEHC.
Well, I'd like to thank everyone for letting me be here tonight, and it's really been amazing. I've really enjoyed it.
Till we meet you again, may God bless you. Adios.
Wise men say only fools rush in, but I can't help falling in love. Shall I stay? Would it really be a sin if I can't help falling in love with you? Like the river flows surely to the sea, darling, so it goes. Some things you know to be. Take my hand, take my whole life too, for I can't help falling in love with you. Falling in love with
Matt Elvis Dollar has left the building. Well, I would like to certainly thank Matt for joining me this week here on The Road Unknown. It's been an interesting 2 hours and a very quickly passing 2 hours. It's amazing when you hear all the stories from Matt's life, the things he's done, the things he's involved in. And be sure, if you are looking for a Grinch, looking for Santa, or you're looking for Elvis at a concert somewhere, be sure and contact MattElvisDollar.com There you will find his contact
Two types of people who should avoid.
So, appreciate you joining me this week. You're tuned to WEHC Emory on 90.7 and WISE FM Wise on 90.5. We're also broadcasting in Big Stone Gap on 90.1, Clintwood on 90.3, St. Paul on 90.9, Pound on 91.3, Norton on 91.7, and we're streaming live worldwide at WEHCFM.com. Be sure and stay tuned. Immediately following this program, coming up in just under 2 minutes, Soul Kitchen with host Wayne Winkler. Of course, you know I recommend his show often. Wayne always plays some great music, and he gives you lots of background information on the bands, the songs, how they came into being, and lots of historical facts about the music. So be sure and tune in to Soul Kitchen. Don't turn off your radio or turn to another channel. You know, I've heard people recently say, well, there's really no good music being produced these days. And you know what I tell them? You're just listening to the wrong radio station, especially right here on the Road Unknown. You will not only hear things from the 60s and 70s, but I also blend in music that was just released yesterday, last week, or last month. Buddy Guy's one of those. Eric Gales is another one. I try to keep you updated on what's going on, where they are, and I would imagine what Eric will be going on stage at Billy Bob's here very shortly. Don't remember exactly how far behind us Texas is time-wise, but I know it'll be a great night there. Hope everyone has a great week. Stay tuned to WEHC and WISE FM. Coming up right now, Soul Kitchen.